Welcome to today's live. Hope you guys are having a great weekend so far. It's about to just go live on Facebook and Instagram. But welcome to today. Let me just get some of my notes out. Alrighty, so my name is Andrew Chau and this is day 14 of me going live every single day to document my process, my journey to reach a six-figure month of my online coaching business. If you guys are new, welcome as I share along with the lessons I learn every day and mistakes that I make so that you guys can kind of learn from that as well. Today is Sunday. Woke up a little bit later. Now on weekends, hanging out, we try to catch up on sleep. It's not like we don't get enough sleep. You know, we're getting around 7-ish hours sleep each night, but on weekends we try to get a little bit more. And this morning we kind of had a slow morning. Slept in a bit. I think we slept into all the way like 9, 10. We had breakfast and we slept on the couch and we started our day. And today, Hang organized for us to go to a recovery center. It's called, what is it called? Recovery Lounge in Port Melbourne. So they reached out to us offering a free session, and all we need to do is just create content about our journey. I think it was a great opportunity. And so that was planned at 4 o'clock, which meant that we had to go to the gym early, and we didn't want to go into an ice bath right after training because it impacts our recovery. Probably not ideal, just doing so close to our training session as well. However, it was just a great opportunity, but we wanted to kind of just experience it. And I think some of the things that I've learned and I want to share with you is the process of building mental toughness. And I think that's where most of the benefits of doing an ice bath would, you'd get. Not so much the recovery benefits. I think it's more so doing something that's incredibly difficult, because ice baths have its place, and whether it's going to make a 9-day difference, I just don't think so. I think inflammation is good. When you train, inflammation is good. It's going to help your recovery. But if it's something that is cost effective for you and it's convenient, something you can do consistently and you enjoy it, and you can notice that there are visible improvements, then great. But otherwise, it was just interesting because I've never done an ice bath before. I don't have cold showers, and I know a lot of people do like having cold showers to help build that mental toughness. It's just not something that I'm interested in. However, just doing the ice bath today was very interesting, and I've always just imagined how hard could it be? How hard could it be just going to an ice bath? And it wasn't actually that hard, really. You have to practice breathing, and it's mind over matter. And I think I apply the same thought process that helps me get through anxious times as well. And it's just having hope and belief and faith that things are going to be okay, right? Like many people do ice baths. There's nothing, it's painful when you first dip in, but nothing's going to happen, right? It feels like your fingers are going to fall off and your hands and feet start aching, but you're going to be okay. And I know that I just need to get through whatever feeling it is that I'm feeling and not react to it. Because as soon as you come in, there's a first initial reaction to just want to get out. And you just got to fight through that. And your body starts to adapt and it starts to adjust, and it's extremely cold and it feels very numb. There's like a lot of pressure on all your, as you know, it stimulates a blood flow. But Hang and I, we actually played a game where we set up both cameras, both mine and Hang's camera, and we started asking each other some questions, just some random questions, just to try to get our mind off things and try to get each other to answer questions without having to think. And it was pretty interesting. And I was, if we didn't have played that game, I think being in there would have been really hard. Time would have gone by really slow, but we had something to keep our mind occupied, and it made it a little bit easier. But I think it's the same mental resilience that I apply when I go to the gym and I train every day. When you're pushing hard at the gym, your body has a natural inclination to want to rest. When you feel that burn, you feel that lactic acid. And every single day I'm at the gym, I'm not trying to push more weight. I'm actually trying to push my limits a little bit more to tolerate a little bit more pain. Each and every single day, a little bit more. And I think today, just doing the ice bath was just an exercise to improve that mental toughness as well. Same thing with sitting in the sauna. As soon as we finished the ice bath, we sat in the sauna. Felt like my face was going to burn off, but I just sat there, just knowing that my body's just going to be okay. It just needs to take time to adjust. It took a while for my body temperature to actually rise, going from 5 degrees in the ice bath to going to the sauna. I've been to the sauna, I've been to the steam a few times. And again, it's just learning how to just get through the hard stuff. You know, when you're going through those moments, you start to negotiate, you start to bargain, you start to think about things that are very important. Well, the thought that I had when I came to the ice bath was there are a lot of things I want to achieve in life, and I just need to sit through and endure. You know, and an hour before that, Hang and I were actually at the beach because we were in Port Melbourne. And we actually had our laptops out, and we're just doing work on our laptop. And you know, having ADHD, I don't know if it's ADHD or it's just my natural inclination to be lazy, but it's just hard to just always work, just switch on all the time. You know, and especially when we have a job that doesn't have a structure, that we have to create our own structure. We have to capitalize on every bit of pocket of time, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes here. And it takes time for you to get into the flow and work. And then you have to switch on, switch off, switch on, switch off. And when I'm just working, it's so easy to just want to be distracted and want to just stop. And then, you know, if you guys don't know, we're actually building this online module, our school community at the moment. And it's a low ticket offer to fill in the gap in the market. We have a high ticket, mid ticket, and now we're creating a low ticket offer. And it's something that I'm very passionate about. I've been enjoying the process, but it's such a big process. It's such a big project. And I've struggled my whole entire life to actually work on the big stuff. You know, I do it when it's exciting, it's fun because you're getting the rewards back. It's fulfilling when you're making progress at the start or you're trying something new, when it's new and exciting. But it's when things get a little bit more monotonous that I've always fallen off in terms of mental endurance. And I've seen that across my life in terms of my fitness journey. I get some results fall off, some results fall off. And this is the longest I've been consistent with my training. It's been 5 years, 6 years now. It's pretty much, you know, within the first year that Hang and I met, and we've been consistent since. And I've never been consistent with anything this long. Running a business, 3 years. I haven't been at any work, you know, any job for more than 2 and a bit years. So I'm venturing into new territory here. And these might sound like rookie numbers, but this is my journey. And I'm just documenting what it feels like to go through it. And it's tough. Like you want to jump to something new and something exciting. And it's about just allowing yourself to suffer, to be okay with the suffering, and just allowing time to pass. Let the feelings flow through. And I think for you to do that, it's a muscle, right? You can call it discipline, you can call it resilience, but it's a muscle that needs to be trained. And I think a lot of people don't have the opportunity to train those muscles. You know, Hang and I, when we were doing the recovery, we did the ice bath, we did the sauna, and we had the compression boots. The compression boots is very comfortable. We were like it's like a movie theater seat, a recliner, and then we had the compression boots on, and we were watching a Netflix documentary about animals, and we were seeing this Siberian tiger and how it's like one of the apex predators, but it still has to go around and hunt and patrol hundreds of miles every single day just to find food, and just have to think about where they're going to find the next kill. And I realized like that's what nature really is. You know, this having to wake up, switch on, not really have time to negotiate. If you don't do what you need to do, you're not going to be able to survive. You're going to die. And I think like as humans, we've just developed so much creature comforts, so much distractions, that most people don't ever get the time to experience that. To, you know, should you feel like that every day where you're on edge and you're worried about getting your next kill? Probably not. But I think we all should go through at least a prolonged period to see how far we can endure in that period, to see what we're really capable of. Because I think the reality that most people don't realize is that we don't actually know ourselves as much as we think. I think we'd like to think that we're nice people, we're integral, we're a man or woman of our word. But the reality is most of you aren't. Most of us aren't. We break commitments of ourselves all the time. We're in denial of how inauthentic we really are. Like think about how many commitments you made to yourself and how many of them do you actually follow through. Not many actually follow through each and every single day. And the ones that do become extremely successful, hyper successful, you know, the top 0.1% of the world. And so I think what I like about doing these things, doing the ice bath and stuff, it's not about the recovery for me. It's really about just stepping outside my comfort zone and just doing something just for the sake of it, just because, and just to see if I could. And I don't know. I felt like going to the ice bath wasn't that tough. Maybe it was just 5 degrees. Maybe if it was less than that, it would have been tough. And I think hanging out could have easily gone to 10 minutes. But I think she said we shouldn't do more than 10 minutes because we might get hypothermia. And so we got out around like 7-8 minutes. I don't think it's impressive by any means, but I just think it was very interesting feeling the resistance and then dipping in and just it's being okay. And I think like I've just developed that muscle doing, training every single day, working on the business every single day. And so takeaways here is to really just find something every day that is like an exercise to kind of build that resilience. So that's what we did today. One of the things I want to improve moving forward is my ability to storytell. I watched a video this morning about how I can create better content. And it's very interesting. And I really want to take a step direction in terms of creating better content. And I think as observers, consumers of content, you watch a piece of content, you hear someone's story, and you think, well, I might have something similar. I think I could do that. That doesn't seem like that difficult. They're just sharing their story. But there's so many layers of nuances for them to be able to create something that's so simple and for you to actually want to ingest all the way through. And I think about when you're watching content, how many pieces of content do you actually flick through and ignore before you actually sit through and listen to one? And there's a reason why, and could be, whether it be tricks or it's really not tricks, it's really just tactics and strategies that allow that encourage your attention retention. That's something that I really want to get good at because that's really what the key to content is. And it's only been a few weeks since I've really just taken and worn that hat and acknowledged that I am a content creator and I want to get better at content creating. And I hadn't worn that hat, since I started. So I've also just booked in a call with a marketing agency as well, a fitness business marketing agency for Tuesday. I don't know if I'm going to go ahead. I just want to figure out what they have to offer, if it is something that's viable for us, whether it's alignment. I'm just going out there and just, I see the ads all the time and I'm thinking, I'll do it one day. We'll do it one day, maybe one day. But like, when would that day ever be? Like, how would I ever know? I just need to put my foot in there and figure it out and go from there rather than just contemplating, because I can imagine what I'm thinking of is, what if it's an introductory offer now and it's cheap now and it's going to be expensive later? And of course, it's probably a marketing strategy in terms of scarcity, but it actually is true because there have been people that I didn't move forward with years ago. It's another fitness business coach, and a friend of mine who's also a coach joined during that time, and it was much cheaper. Now it's like 4 or 5 times the value, and I actually think it's going to continue to increase because there's a lot of money in education, there's a lot of money in coaching, and someone out there, my competitor, is taking advantage of these opportunities. I need to be able to take advantage of these opportunities. So I've got to figure out whether it's the right move. But all in all, to recap, this weekend wasn't as productive as I would like. We were very busy, but not necessarily as productive as I would like. But I think I just need to not be so hard on myself. It's the weekend, and it's not like I'm in two minds about this. There's a part of me that thinks it's the weekend. I still want to be able to work. I should see every day the same, but the weekends is really an opportunity where I can book in these things, or we can go out to eat. We do just have these things that pop up, and it's just hard to be able to focus on our training and be able to work and be able to just have some time to kind of unwind a little bit as well. And I think that's a curse of being a business owner, because at least when you work a 9-to-5 job, that the weekend you're entitled to that. If your boss tells you to work, you can just tell them to go fuck themselves. But when it comes to running your own business, like every bit of effort that I put in can move the needle forward. And I feel like I'm letting my team down. I feel like I'm letting the people that believe in me down if I'm not moving as fast as I should be. I also don't want to lower my standards and say, hey, maybe I shouldn't be aiming so high. Maybe I shouldn't be so hard on myself. So I'm in two minds about it, and it's difficult. And it's a discovery process. It's about finding that balance. So ideally, I would like the weekends to be more productive, but we also do have things that, that come up, and we got to learn to balance. And sometimes I got to force myself to take a step back from work. But then Monday comes, and I kind of wish I did more work over the weekend. So it's a bit of a circle there, bit of a tough one. And If one of my clients said this is the problem, the advice I would give them is you have to set boundaries. Sometimes one step back means two steps forward. But I'm also not going to encourage them to just take days off just for the sake of it. And I think you should go off your energy levels. If you have the capacity and you want to work, and I think you absolutely should work. But if you feel like you're tired and you want to take a step back, I think you should be able to take a step back. So that's kind of about how I felt this morning, kind of sleeping in a bit. I wanted to work, but I also wanted to I don't have time in a week to just nap for like 2 hours. So we did that. But yeah, so game plan for this week. I didn't get to finish my certification for performance nutrition, which I'm halfway through the last module. So I'm about like an hour away. So I want to finish that off tomorrow just to get it out of my hair. I can tick off that milestone. I want to continue to build the lead magnet, spend an hour and a half on the lead magnet every day. And the lead magnet is how to have more energy for your kids. It's a great resource. It's very in-depth. I haven't seen anyone else create a course like this, especially one that is free as well. It's hyper valuable. I actually look at other competitors and see what resources they create, and I always get their free stuff just to see how they do it. And a lot of it's actually quite basic, and I want this to be incredibly in-depth. Same thing with building our school community. We have clients that are finishing up that are excited to stay in the community, and I really want to make them proud. I really want the modules to be something that could be life-changing for them. That anyone who might not have the financial circumstances to be able to afford the one-to-one coaching, to be able to really have a great experience and be able to get really good results and change their mindset and change how they see things. That will be my ultimate goal, to really create impact. And I think the direction that we're going is good, just building a personal brand and giving into the market, making deposits, adding value. I think over time it will pay off dividends, but we just got to put our head down and grind away. So that's it, guys. Bit of a shorter one today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Some changes I want to make to these daily journals is, rather than just recapping my day and just be like, I did this and did this and did this, I want to share with you my biggest takeaways, my stories, or my lessons, and incorporate some of the events in the day as a story. So that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'm pretty tired now as well. And I think next weekend, I definitely want to go live in the morning, get it out of the way, not at night, because on the way home, I was definitely dreading this live. And I was dreading it because the more that you put thought into something, the bigger it is, and the more that you actually just dread it. While when I wake up in the morning, I just slept the night before and my mind's fresh, and whatever is on my mind, I can share, I can present. While when I have the whole day, I feel like there's so many things I have to remember in that day, and I think about how I want to say it, and it ends up just occupying a lot of my mental capacity. So next Saturday and Sunday, I definitely will be doing it early in the morning so I can have the day to kind of just experience the day. But yeah, that's it, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.